I grilled a couple burgers, laughed with my crew, and 30 minutes later, I had 4 squad cars, a drone overhead, and a woman named Prudence Whitmore calling me a domestic terrorist. Yeah. That actually happened. And if you think it ended with a misunderstanding and a handshake, well, let's just say this story goes sideways before it ever gets right. So let me walk you through it. It was a Saturday, the kind of morning you dream about all week. Clear skies, no calls, nothing but meat on the grill and beers getting cold in the cooler. I'd invited 4 of my guys over, all SWAT, all brothers I trust with my life. We were off duty, out of uniform, just trying to breathe for once. We'd been through hell the week before, hostage situation in a warehouse that still gives ghost nightmares, so this cookout. This was therapy. Now, let me paint the picture. My place sits on the edge of a sleepy HOA-run neighborhood called Pinecrest Ridge. It's the kind of place where the sidewalks are clean, the shutters are always navy blue, and God help you if your trash can is visible for more than 30 seconds after pickup. And smack in the center of this Stepford suburb is Prudence Whitmore, HOA president, neighborhood watch captain, woman with enough binoculars to run her own surveillance agency. She lives 2 doors down, and ever since I moved in, she's been eyeballing me like I was a stray dog that might bite. The thing is, she doesn't know what we do. Not really. She just sees 5 military-age males, her words unloading gear from trucks, talking in short, clipped commands, scanning our surroundings like we're casing the joint. But that's just muscle memory. That's how we move. How we operate. We don't mean anything by it. But Prudence. She saw war games in her rose garden. And instead of walking over like a decent human being and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" she called 911. Not a neighborly check-in. Not even a noise complaint. No. She told dispatch that a domestic terror cell was organizing a paramilitary training operation in broad daylight, next to her begonias. And look, I've heard bad calls before, but when I got a copy of the recording later, man, she was breathless. Dramatic. Said we had tactical gear, comms equipment, code language. She described my friend Sage as a bald man with intimidating tattoos. That man's got a tattoo of a baby panda on his forearm. Not even kidding. Anyway, the call went out. And because of how she phrased it, they flagged it as high risk. Potential threat to public safety. Which means full response. Lights, sirens, weapons hot. I'm flipping burgers when I hear it, distant at first, then louder. Sirens. At least 4 units. I look at Brass, who's slicing onions, and I see it in his face. That instinct kicking in. Something's wrong. Then I hear the tires on gravel. Then I see the drone. And then they come in fast. Officers in tactical vests, hands hovering over holsters, one guy already starting to fan out around my yard. I raise my hands instinctively, step back from the grill, and I can see one of them hesitate, not because of fear, but recognition. See, the guy in charge. Deputy Tom Granger. He and I trained together back in 2008. I saved his leg once. He saved my neck more than once. And thank God it was him leading this mess. He steps forward and says, "Marcus, what the hell's going on?" And all I can do is raise an eyebrow and say, "You tell me, Tom. You're the one bringing the cavalry to my cookout." Now, at this point, my guys are just standing there, not making sudden moves, letting the uniforms do their thing. We know the drill. But Prudence, she's across the street, filming everything with her iPad, narrating it like she's on CNN. "Here they are," she says, "about to be apprehended. Justice prevails. Justice." Tom talks to dispatch. Confirms the report. Caller believes group is stockpiling weapons, conducting surveillance. He lowers his radio, sighs, and says, "Is this about that bag of gear?" I nod. "We haven't even unpacked. That's just standard SWAT loadout. We're on call 24/7. Then I open the cooler. "You want a beer?" "Root beer. Not even alcohol, Tom. We're trying to behave." He shakes his head, waves his team down, and walks over to Prudence, still filming, still narrating. From where I'm standing, I hear every word. "You put my officers in harm's way over grilled meat and a GoPro, Prudence. You know how close this came to going sideways." She snaps back, "I know what I saw. They were coordinated. I've been documenting them for weeks." "For weeks?" He looks back at me. "Marcus, you know anything about her?" "Documenting you?" I shrug. "Just notice my bushes getting trimmed unevenly." Here's the twist though. Turns out this wasn't her first call. Or her second. It was her eighth. Over the last year, she's reported at least 7 other suspicious males, the Amazon driver, a teenage long guy, and once, a Cub Scout dad who wore camo to mow his yard. But this time, she hit a wall. Because this time, she called in a fake terror threat. And that's a federal offense. Tom files a report. Prudence gets a citation for misuse of emergency services. Later that week, the sheriff's department launches an investigation. HOA members start whispering. A petition forms. And within 2 weeks, she's out. Removed from her HOA seat. Forced to step down from Neighborhood Watch. Her crime log website shut down for good. The final cherry on top. She tried to sue the sheriff's department and accidentally sent her own surveillance files as evidence. Including a folder labeled "Neighbors to Watch, Suspicious but Fit." I wish I was kidding. Now, the neighborhood's a little quieter. Our cookouts go uninterrupted. And every time someone mentions watching the block, we all look at each other and laugh. But here's the thing that still bugs me. What if I hadn't been who I am? What if it was someone without a badge, someone who didn't know how to stay calm when red dots show up on your chest? What if the responding officer wasn't Tom, but someone younger, jumpier? What happens when fear meets authority and there's no truth in the middle? That's why I'm telling this story. Because yeah, it ended okay. We got a laugh out of it. But it could have gone so differently. And all it took was one person with binoculars and a little too much time. So now I want to hear from you. Was Prudence just paranoid? Or did she deserve the charges that came after? Was this an honest mistake or the kind of thing that could have gotten someone hurt? Let's talk about it in the comments, because if we don't figure out the line between caution and control, someone's gonna cross it, and next time, they might not be grilling burgers when it happens.